Censorship. I actually had a really hard time making this one. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna give you an example of censorship and content regulation. So there's a show called The Amazing Digital Circus on Glitch. It's very popular. I'm not gonna talk about the show specifically, but like how censorship is relevant when I speak about it. So the show had to be modified. The people working on the show had to self-censor. Why? Because if they included what they wanted to originally include, they would not be able to upload the show on YouTube, which is where they started it. Where they made the initial profit, right? So swearing, very explicit gore, extremely dark jokes and humor had to be either completely removed or toned down big time. And that way they were able to upload The Amazing Digital Circus to YouTube, which is a show I enjoy and I find it really fun. Now, at the end of the day, it may come as a blessing in disguise because the fact that the show doesn't contain that much swearing and explicit stuff. Well, it actually doesn't contain any swearing at all, if I'm not mistaken. It's actually kind of a joke, an inside joke or something. Yeah. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. Yeah, it doesn't have any swearing. That's basically the gist of it. Because you're not allowed to swear inside a circus. I forgot, my bad. Brain fart, brain fart. It's a bit late at night, I'm a bit sleepy, so yeah. Deal with it. And I get it that Gooseborg will not be able to show the world uh, what they had originally planned for The Amazing Digital Circus, but at the end of the day, it didn't go so bad. It has a lot of views, it is beloved by people, and it is a good show, in my opinion. So everything went well. And I repeat, at the end of the day, it's a blessing in disguise because now the show can be watched by many people that otherwise wouldn't be able to watch it or shouldn't be watching it because it was, well, for adults, or it was supposed to be for adults, right? Or at least way more explicit than it is now. And also, people compare it to Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel and say, oh, Has Been Hotel, haha, swearing, haha, sex joke, haha, violence, haha, I decapitate you. Funny, funny, Neanderthal humor. And they say, but no, my Amazing Digital Circus. Well, bro, at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure those shows will be very similar if YouTube allowed, or maybe the Digital Circus will be even darker, even like more violent, more sexual, if YouTube allowed them to publish their original ideas. So I wouldn't be making fun of Has Been Hotel that much when you had something that could be even more extreme, if you catch my drift, though. But yeah, you get that part, YouTube TOS, blah blah blah. Since YouTube is the biggest video platform of all time. And now there's the other side of censorship that's like political. For example, and I'm gonna say this in a positive way, of course, because like we're gonna be positive and cool and have a fun time. The people who said horrendous things about Charlie Kirk, his family, and his children, may he rest in peace, they are gonna get banned from social media and they're gonna lose their jobs. The people who call for violence, for horrendous things that to happen to others, for bullying, all those nasty things, and the people who were celebrating his death, yes, they're gonna get banned. They're gonna get fired. They're gonna be humiliated in public. Therefore, they're gonna be censored because their posts where they call for violence and horrific acts are gonna be taken down. But that is not allowed. And you will say, oh, freedom of speech. Freedom? To call for people to destroy, loot, kill, and do nasty things? How about no? because that is stupid, that is retarded, and that should not be allowed. There's no such thing as full freedom of speech. If you say something extremely retarded, extremely hurtful, extremely bad, you're gonna get your ass whooped. You're gonna get shut down. And it's gonna be justified, to be honest. That's how I see it. You know? I mean, yeah, you said your thing, you said your nasty stuff, now get banned, you fucking idiot. Language, language. But yeah, that's how it is. You know, you also may say, oh well, the political party of the right censors the left when they're in power, and the left censors the right, or blah blah blah. When you expose a politician that is a dictator, they're gonna censor you and they're gonna block your internet access and blah 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 blah. Or if there's an anime or something that has uh, sexual themes, or it has nudity or fan service, it's gonna be censored, or the dialogues are gonna be censored to appeal to a broader audience, then it's wrong because it was already out there, right? It was allowed, and you're censoring out of pettiness, out of being retarded, right? Like the things going on with some of the English subtitles on Crunchyrolls, where they're saying like edgy stuff or whatever, or not even something edgy, something that the creator doesn't agree with, and they modify it. It's not even like censoring, it's even worse. It's like destroying the original content. Because let's say the original dialogue is, uh, I don't like, oh, okay, now I have it. Let's say the original dialogue is, oh yeah, I am not into male. Sorry, I'm straight. Right? And they modify it to something like, "Oh, sorry, you're not my type, but I'm really gay. I'm super gay and stuff." You know, that's gonna destroy the original message because it's, yeah, and that's also a form of censorship. But anyway, to conclude this, I'm gonna talk about my personal experience with this. Um, as you may know, I'm working on an indie project, and the people in development, they were facing some issues because they were not getting enough people to work on the project to help them finish the project, right? It's still on development, or and stuff, but they were like, what do we do? Like, we want to publish something with a lot of sex, a lot of uh really adult jokes, a lot of gore, but we also want it to be serious. We don't want it to be like a sexual project, you know? And I was like, well, what you can do, in my opinion, is that you can make it safe for work, or you can tone it down a bit, because there's some people that have told you that are very talented that you wanted on your team, but you couldn't recruit. That said that they loved the idea, but they couldn't work on something that has nudity because they are either not of age, or they don't find that something that they will like to work with, right? And eventually, the people listened to my advice. I don't know if it was the correct one or whatever. I just gave them advice. At the end of the day, a lot of things that I say are my opinion. Some things are objective, like you shouldn't be spreading hateful messages or calling for violence on social media. That's objectively wrong and messed up. And whoever believes otherwise is a psychopath. But the rest of the things I'm saying are more like, my opinion ish. Anyways, continue with the subject. Uh, yes, the original idea for the project had to be modified, as in self-censored. But we did see positive results. We got more people that want to work with us and stuff. Because as you may know, if you're making something that's for like adults or that has mature content, you should not allow people who are not of age to work on it, right? You should be like, okay, but you're like an adult and stuff. Because if not, then it is illegal. It is wrong. It's not good that you're working on this. You shouldn't. It is wrong for me, for you, for everyone. So you should be of age and stuff like that. And yes, I did have some arguments with the people in development because they were like, "Oh no, my original idea, my original characters, my original jokes, all that stuff." But the results. And I'm not saying that if something is safe for work or if something is tame, is better, or that you'll always be able to reach a broader audience with something that's not violent and something that's like, you know, well, not explicit. I'm saying that maybe in general, and to be positive, because I want to be positive in this video. You know, I could be wrong about what I said about the original uh, idea that I was speaking about the Amazing Digital Circus. Maybe what Goosework had planned will have come out way better than what came out right now, but we'll never know. But it is a very complex. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart again. Subject. What I believe of this in general, or like to conclude, well, that I am for free speech, right? As long as blah blah blah. We spoke about the bots before. And I enjoy all kinds of media, violent, sexual, or even like stupid humor. I laugh a lot. I like to laugh. It's really like easy to make me laugh because I'm just overall a goofy person, right? And I don't think that Has Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss are inferior because they have a lot of sex jokes and sex. But I do believe that you can make the argument that, as I said before, more people are going to either A, be allowed to see what you're cooking, or are going to want to see what you're cooking if it's something that's E for everyone. And something else I want to add is that this all started with Mortal Kombat and the spine rip that Sub-Zero did, the fatality, that inspired the whole rating system, you know, and stuff. Because Mortal Kombat was the first popular video game where there was a lot of violence and stuff, right? And of course, I mean, there's always like films and things that are for adults and whatnot. But I'm talking about like video games and digital media. Like you could say Mortal Kombat is the granddaddy of it all, right? Because it showed people that you can make things that are very realistic looking or very gruesome, even if it's digital, right? Because Mortal Kombat is a video game; it's not real. It is fiction, right? Well, like movies in the same way, but it is like literally there's no one real in the game. There's no like real people. Like yes, they use the motion capture and all this and that and the sprites, but you get what I'm saying. And yeah, I mean, it was a very interesting video. I would say this will be my favorite video to upload, but I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. So peace.